When we learn music theory, we spend a lot of time talking about intervals. Intervals are a way for musicians to explain the physical characteristics of a chord in relation to how they make us feel. Some sound happy, some sound sad, and some just sound bad. These bad intervals are called dissonant, and it's pretty common for people to avoid them as much as possible. I want to talk a little bit about these intervals because I think there's more than meets the eye. There's a great video by Adam Neely that explains what dissonance is, but here's the gist of it. There are three primal dissonances: the minor second, the major seventh, and the minor ninth. As you can hear, when played naked, that is, by themselves without any context, all of them sound harsh and abrasive, but they don't have to sound bad. Here's a simple way to resolve a minor second. Major sevenths sound pretty good on their own. And it's definitely possible to resolve a minor ninth. In Adam's video, he mentions that the minor ninth interval is the most dissonant. In fact, some say that the minor ninth interval should never be used in the context of jazz improv just because of how harsh it sounds and how difficult it can be to resolve. This got me thinking, how does the minor ninth work in classical music? Surely it can't be that hard to use, right? To investigate this further, I thought it would be a good idea to explore how one of the old masters handled all three of these dissonances. The piece you're hearing right now is a Chopin nocturne, and features all three. I'll highlight when each happens on screen. So as you can tell, clearly each of these three does sound good in context. But there's still something funky going on here. As many of you know from your own studies, the minor second and major sevenths show up in plenty of places, to the point that we're pretty used to hearing these intervals everywhere. But what about the minor ninth? This sounds rough and sharp, definitely not pleasant to listen to. So is Adam right? Is the minor ninth really only used to add tension so that there can be a stronger release? I mean, look at what Chopin did. He only used the minor ninth at a point of extremely high tension to make things more intense, and it resolved almost immediately. And in fact, lots of composers use the minor ninth just to add tension. Is that really the only reason the minor ninth exists? To investigate this further, let's see how Prokofiev handled dissonance. When Prokofiev was only 18 years old, he wrote a piece called Diabolic Suggestions. It's a creepy sounding piece that definitely steps well into the realm of atonal music. And as you can see from the sheet music, Prokofiev liberally uses the minor ninth interval. It's everywhere. Everywhere. So how does this sound? Wow. That sounds rough. If anything, this just solidifies the idea that the minor ninth sounds bad if not immediately resolved. And if we listen to it in context, it really doesn't sound any more pleasant. But what is Prokofiev trying to say here? This piece is about the worst parts of ourselves. It's about our inner struggles at their weakest moments. It's about when we make the decisions we regret the most, when we give in to exactly what we said we hate. This is what that sounds like, or maybe this brings out emotions related to those feelings. So yeah, maybe having minor ninths everywhere doesn't sound so good, but maybe that's the point. Clearly there's a lot more to dissonance than just, this interval sounds bad so I shouldn't use it ever. There's a lot of color and beauty that can be shaped from intervals, even if without context they sound bad. And sometimes, maybe it's not such a bad idea if people take a moment to explore the darker side of their emotions.